2024 NZ GTR Festival debrief from the silly little Nissan March and myself. VIP entry this year, which was pretty cool. There's a sticker that's on the ute somewhere around here as well, and that was for a support vehicle, so we were able to have the ute parked next to the car just to help out with stuff like fuel, and that's all we did actually. We put some fuel in it, and that's all that happened. I did jump in the car at the end of the day to get a prize. Oh wait, there, see, that's not the only prize. So what it says there on that, if you can read that, got that, which was pretty cool, and a 10 pack of these things, pretty nice. Drinking that one right now actually. See, open, just grabbed it from the fridge and opened it up. Jumped in the car to go and get those, and they wanted some pictures of my ugly self and the pretty little car, so jumped in there and turned the wheel too quickly before the Holden Astra power steering pump, which lives down here, electric over hydraulic, before it had fully wound up to speed. And what that does is it blows the two 30 amp fuses for the power supply, so boom, and resulted in Armstrong Siddeley power steering, i.e. no power steering, use your arms. Not the easiest thing to do without a centre diff and 275 semi-slick tyres that were very gripped up. But anyway, that was, I think, the only thing. Put those in there and that's fixed. You'll see in the track sessions I did 4 pretty fast laps. First one was like I'm going to say 9.5, something like that. Next one was a 8.108, obviously. 0.34, and I think then 8.4 or thereabouts, and then maybe a 7.9 or something, not sure. The reason why I'm not sure is because I wasn't that worried about lap times and all that. It was just there for fun. It was the potential that, I'll try and get the lighting right for you, potential that maybe I might be able to set a PB, and might have. And I don't know, because I didn't download the logs from the ECU. I didn't think we'd be doing that much running that they'd get written over. But as it turns out, so I did the fast sessions, but parked it up. Went back out, did the roll racing, did it, parked it up. Put some fuel in it, thinking that there was going to be another fast session in the afternoon, but there wasn't. They canned that one. So then they had the drag racing, which was immediately after the parade laps, and basically you had to go out in the parade laps with all your gear and everything in preparation for doing the drag racing. So by the time I'd done all that, the car had been running long enough, it overwrote the logs for the fast track session. So no idea, information's gone. I've got that much stuff logging that it did chew up all that capacity, and I've got heaps of stuff from the roll racing and the parade laps, but I don't really care about the parade laps. I wanted to see temps and pressures, basically, T's and P's. That's what I wanted to look at, and then lap times as a byproduct. Have a look. They're not official anyway, so they don't matter, so who cares? But we've got the video. I'll put the video on here. I'll just smash it up unedited. I've just stopwatched it off the laptop screen with my phone, and I think the last lap was a 107.9 or whatever. Call it 108. But so it might be a PB. It's certainly faster than the official PB, which is a 108.4. I'm pretty comfortable. It's definitely faster than that. You'll see I caught up to my mate Mike Corey and passed him on the straight. I thought, hey, this will be fun. And there was no issues with the brakes on the way into the sweeper. They were totally fine, no issues whatsoever. And then there were no brakes at turn 1. 260 something k's an hour. Lift off the throttle and get on the brakes. And there's no one home. So that was exciting. So as you can see, I'm leaving plenty of room for scenarios as that, such as that. When I say there was no one home, there was some brakes there, but they just weren't anywhere near what they should have been. My bad, should have changed the brake fluid. It's old enough, I don't know how old it is now, and that's a big no-no. But with the old saw paw, which I'll talk about in a second, I just minimised the amount of turning spanners and stuff. So consequently, the only change on the car from the previous time that it was driven is just that oil cooler has gone on there, and there's nothing else being done. I got this far with the new wing for the car. There's a bit of a dull patch there because I managed to bump it while the paint was still wet. I gave it a little bit of a sand, and I haven't buffed it yet. I've got no fingerprints left on my left hand because it's been doing a heap of sanding for this. These brackets, I'm part way through making these. That was probably pushing it as far as things that I could and should do. It wasn't too bad. They're a little bit heavy, a couple 100 grams a piece. So I've tipped over the 3 kg target for the entire wing assembly. I think we're 3.2 or something, and we've still got to put the end plates on. Still a lot better than old 6 kg mate over there. So if there's we'll wander back over here. If there's any doubts that this wing actually works, I think in the previous video I said it was a crap shape or something like that. I mean, it's just not ideal, that's the thing. Like I've pointed out the issues with it, the things that, if you're being mega fussy, are not right. But it definitely works, there's no question about it, because I have previously removed these dents that appear here in the boot skin. This is bulged out, and that's dented in. And same over here. And they were deleted, removed quite nicely. That was all nice and flush before GTR Festival. As you can see in the reflections, that's really bulged out there. What's happening there is there's enough pressure from the wing, enough force, that boot is literally buckling under the weight. So with old mate new wing over there, before that goes on to here, something's got to change here. This has got to be better. It was good enough to now, but now that we're going 263 k's an hour with this shape with this little gurney flap on there, that is that's getting close to catastrophic failure, and I'm not sure how badly that would buckle and how quickly. If it gives up, it's going to, because it's caving in at this end, or not this end, it's going to actually just take downforce off it, right, as that buckles down and it lays itself flat. So it won't just rip off the car, it'll just give up, push it in and give up at some point, which it's doing right now. I can hold that with my left hand and apply some pressure to it to move things around, but there's a huge amount of weight going on there. It definitely works. It'd be interesting to bang some load cells on there and actually get the numbers. I have thought about that. There's a way to get load cells on there, and we can definitely monitor them via the ECU. Depends how much I want to spend on them. Some of them off Alibaba and all that sort of carry on are just cheap, you know. They're not even worth worrying about the price, isn't $80 or something like that. How well they work is questionable. How long they will last is questionable. But they only need to work for a little bit to test the wing, and as long as they're sort of semi-accurate within 10% or something, that's probably good enough, right? Or you can source them locally in New Zealand, and we're talking hundreds of dollars each, sort of 300 in that ballpark. Or we could perhaps do something clever where there's just one load cell. We've got hinges at the top of the boot. If we take the boot rubber off and put a singular load cell at the bottom of the boot somewhere and do the math on the leverage forces and all that sort of carry on, we can work out how well the wing is working. But I digress. So other than blowing 2 fuses, which wasn't even actually on the track, and it was my bad because I just, as I said, turned the wheel too soon. So 2 fuses, brake fluid needs changing. What was the other one? Oh, the dents in the boot that I was literally just talking about. Other than that, car was mint. It was awesome. It was good fun. Driver could be a little bit better and it will go faster. And the driver just needs to learn how to launch it for drag racing. It might be a little bit better. So Roll racing, one practice. The guy, I was in the left lane, the guy in the right lane, I'm not sure, he was going quite slow, I thought, and I don't know, I accidentally stomped on the gas too early, or a nervous twitch or something, the car took off. I backed off and redressed, as they call it in V8 supercars, let him get a car length or two on me, and then peeled him back and beat him properly, so that people wouldn't say I cheated, you know. And no one's going to know that in the crowd, they're just going to think what happened there, but that's what happened there. Second race, I'm not sure which GTR it is. I posted on Facebook earlier today and I said generic GTR. I'm not being rude, it's they all look the same, apart from, like, especially if they're the same colour and similar wheels, and unless you read the license plates or the stickers on the side, they all look the same. So I raced a dark grey metallic, gunmetal metallic, or whatever colour it's called, R32 GTR, beat him, so that was alright. Them, I should say, perhaps. Pretty sure all the drivers are males, not 100% sure, but anyway, and then up against James, and we just don't, unless something goes wrong, we don't stand a chance against James, so it's unfortunate that that was our next race. So I was in the right lane setting the pace. Now, basically every time I've raced James in the past, the starts have not been great, in my opinion. There's been things that have just been not very good, not very fair and honest, but whatever. So I was in the right lane, so as soon as that guy dropped his hands to start the roll, I didn't piss around, I got on it. We were doing 60k an hour pretty damn quick, and I couldn't see it from my car because of the angles and everything. But there'll be footage out there. Apparently James had a bit of a time to catch up, quite sideways near the start, to try and catch up to us, which is funny, but when you think about it, it's not actually working in my favour in any way, shape or form, because what's happening there is he's trying to catch up, so he's going faster. So when the light goes green, he's actually going quicker than I was. This is the issue with starting on corners. It's just I nearly swore, it's a stuff up, it's simple physics, but I understand why they're doing it. We've got lack of space and all that sort of carry on, but you simply can't. You cannot have a fair start when it's around a corner, and the sharper the corner, the worse it is. So both Mary Mary and Hampton Downs are just a screw up, but your hands are tied as the organiser, and you want to have a decent length, and you've got a quarter at each end of it. What do you do? So at Mary Mary, to be fair, like in the finals, they back the cars up to the wall in the staging area, so they are in a straight line, but all the knockouts and everything, all the eliminations, it takes too much time to do that, so that's why they're going around the corner. But anyway, yeah, so I put the boot in 60. I think if you watch the video and pause it, I may have been slowly creeping up. That wasn't intentional. I tried to do about 60 and stay there, and I think it was doing 66 when the light went green, and James just sailed past us, and then I missed a gear. What was it? It might have been second to third or something, and you can see in the video when that happened, like, it gives you an impression of how quickly these cars are accelerating, that miss a gear and it's like whatever it might be, that might be on the logs, half a second or quarter of a second of acceleration stops, and he's gone. He's 4 car lengths down the track, just like that, just missing one gear. It's not an excuse, it's just what happened. He was going to kick my ass, and unless he did something like that, like had a bad start and missed a gear, we weren't ever going to beat him. So yeah, and then drag racing, no practice, and just hazed the tyres off the start. I just had no idea how much grip was there, just gave it a given amount as a guess. The GTR that I raced might have been the generic grey R32 GTR that I'd raced in the roll racing and beat, or it might be another one that looks the same. Like I say, they all look the same. I have no idea. He got an awesome start, just drove away from me, and then was catching, and he braked before he needed to, but there just wasn't enough room to catch him, I don't think. And not entirely certain that we would have, even at the actual drags, you know, on a 400 metre strip, which is, I think it's got to be longer than what we were running at Hampton Downs. So that's how it went. happy though, it was a good day. The hand, oh, can't hold that there, hang on. Ah, bloody, the hand, yeah, it's pissed off with me today. That was a bit much for it, but it was worth it. Might get told off by the physio, but it was worth it. It might cost me a day or two in recovery time, but you can't, well, I can't sit around and do nothing forever, so stuff it. That's how it is. Yeah, but had a good day, caught up with a whole heap of people, enjoyed it, loved it, would do it again in a heartbeat. No complaints, despite people who interpret what I just said before as complaints. No complaints, it was good, good fun. Rightio, here you go, watch all this crap. Cheers, boy. The baldness. GTR Festival 2024, NZ GTR Festival. Look at that, see, GTRs and 350Zs and a shaky camera. Now, is that any better? Nah, I'm getting ready. First session, what do they call it? Going fast session. That's us, that'll do. That thing there, that's all good to go. My right hand, we're just going to pretend it's 100%. It is not bad. I've got good range of movement, no real pain. Not technically following the rules where there should be no sport. Technically it's a sport, although we're not competing, so it's not sport. They didn't say I couldn't drive, so I'm driving. That was fun. It was the classic. I knew I should have changed the brake fluid. The brake fluid's quite old in the car, a lot older than it should be. And after, there's the oil down, so we've got to wait for that. Yeah, I should have changed the brake fluid and didn't. So apparently, however many laps that was, it basically full pace. That's too much for that fluid at the moment. So that's fine. It boiled it up a little bit, and there you go. Boiled it up a little bit, and basically started to lose the brakes as I went past Mike Corey. So that's when I pulled the pin and said, no more fast. Let's let that all cool down. Roll racing is up next, so just cleaning up and oil down on the track, and then we will be out again. There is another speed session this afternoon. Could probably do 2 laps or something like that. But I might sit it out. We'll just see how it goes. I'll do the roll racing, see how much fun I've had with that. This beautiful day. Happy that I'm out here. Hand's good, hand doesn't hurt at all, so yay. It's pretty much the end of the day. Drag racing sucked. Nah, it didn't. It was all right. I'm not sure exactly who it was that I was up against. Far out. That thing got off the line really well. Was catching. Needed a lot more room than we had. I'm not sure how long that strip is. That's how it goes. Lost, eliminated straight away. No practice, whatever. Apparently, standout track award. There's a few of those issued. And that thing there has got one of those, so I'm wandering over to where that is to grab that. I reckon I'm probably going to have a look at the logs before I finish editing this video. The morning session there, that seemed quite fast, some of that. Reasonably quick, but that can be quite deceptive. You can think you're hauling ass, and then and the data says no. So it'll be interesting to review that and see how that goes. So James in 40 psi on slicks is going out on the skid pan. I'm not going to film it. It might end badly. Right, let's go find a trophy.